Good morning, and thanks to the Messe Munich, thanks to the Italian Trade Agency for organizing this workshop today. In the past days, the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation organized a session of the Governmental Steering Board, so-called Cabina di Regia in Italian, on the specific topic of the attraction of foreign direct investment. The format of this meeting, which was co-chaired by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Luigi Di Maio, by the Minister of Economic Development, Giancarlo Giorgetti, and joined by about 10 different ministers, provide a clear evidence of the absolute commitment of the government led by Prime Minister Draghi for the topic of foreign direct investment. Italy is facing a crucial phase, and we are very confident that the opportunity of the recovery plan will play a pivotal role, not only for the boost of the economy through a massive investment plan, but also through an ambitious reform program, especially in the public sector and in the justice organization and court procedures. All this will enhance the productivity and the strength of the country from the economic point of view and make Italy more attractive for foreign capital. The attraction of foreign direct investment is key to enhance growth and productivity through knowledge sharing and more competition. The pandemic crisis led to a decrease of foreign direct investment flow worldwide, with a minus 42% in 2020. However, despite this, Italy was able to increase the flow of foreign direct investment with significant new investment in IT or high-tech sector. A very important example in this direction is represented by the investment announced by the HHLA, so the Port of Hamburg, in the logistics platform of the Port of Trieste, confirming the potential of the Italian and German cooperation in this specific kind of infrastructure, which is the focus today. The Italian government is committed to enhance this development through the mentioned reform plan, public sector, justice reform, in the perspective even taxation and welfare reform, and specific measures targeting specific needs for foreign investors, such as, for example, the reshoring initiatives. The teamwork, which is currently ongoing in Italy, is also supported in parallel abroad by the activity carried on by our embassies, consulate, Italian Trade Commission offices, and the desk for investment attraction. In particular, the network of such desks has been increased and widened from 19 to 26 offices worldwide, including now soon Germany. So very soon the government will launch a new portal, which will be www.investinitaly.gov.it, and is developed together with the Ministry of Economic Development, with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and this will be a very important tool. It will be in the idea as a single desk tool for any information required by any foreign investors in topics like incentives, opportunities, public information, and so on. So finally, Italy is also hosting this year, is also having this year the presidency of the G20, and we are working on a initiative on the topic of investment, which will take place in October, and this is the so-called G20 Innovation League, which will bring together investors and innovative companies facing crucial and global challenges. So thanks again to all of you, and I wish you a very successful workshop today. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much, the Commercial Counsellor of the Embassy of Italy to Germany, for his opening remarks. Now we will now move on to one of the first speakers of today's event, Mr. Stefano Nigro, who will explain why Invest in Italy in logistics and infrastructures is important for your company. Mr. Nigro is the Director of Foreign Investment Department of the Italian Trade Agency in Italy. Please, Mr. Nigro, take the floor.
In my brief presentation, today I will introduce why you should evaluate to invest in Italy and what is the support that we can provide as the Italian ecosystem. First of all, Italy is strong in many different fields. is a big producer, is a big exporter, rank first in different sectors, for example, in pharma, jewelry, manufacturer of fashion, and is well known as also as a center of research and development. Last but not least is a strong market, one of the top 10 markets in the world. It's not strange, therefore, that according to the Kearney FDI Confidence Index, Italy ranks among the 10 countries most attractive for foreign investors. Also, within its position, Italy is an important strategic gateway for those who are willing to base their logistic platform for Europe. But not just for Europe, it's also at the center of an area of over 500 million consumers, plus all the North Africa and Middle East. And also the procedures and the efficiency of our system is very well known according to the World Bank, to the World Economic Forum, and all the main ranking in the logistics sector. Whenever you decide to invest in our country, we can provide a fully support to your investment as the Italian ecosystem. We, as Italian trade agency, are together other partners, some of them are here today, in order to fully facilitate the investment from the very beginning till the end of the process. The most important projects are also followed by a special committee, the Ministry Committee for Attraction of Foreign Investment, that counts on all the main ministries of our country. Last but not least, we cooperate strictly with the main association, and today we are the Association of Freight Village and the Italian ports that are together in order to facilitate your investment. A strong partnership that we have is with Invitalia in the program Invest in Italy. The program Invest in Italy has the aim to support the investor to the very beginning, thanks to our network abroad, till the end of the process. We have office in 78 countries in the world, but in 26 countries we have a fully specialized person, fully dedicated to support and to customer care of the investors. We have a broader portfolio with products and services, but I don't want to lose much more time because the colleagues that will follow will explain better than me what are the incentives and what are the free support services that we can provide. I would like to thank you again for your time, and please invest in Italy.
Thank you very much to Mr. Nigro for that very brief but very accurate presentation on how and why to invest in this country, especially in the infrastructure, freight village and port sector. Now we will move on to another speaker, Ambra Nicole Strub from Invitalia, which was mentioned just a minute ago, logistics and infrastructure specialist, who will talk about the Italian logistics market and incentives. Just a brief snapshot from her before we move on. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Murgia, and thank you all for taking the time to be here today. As already briefly introduced by Mr. Nigro, we work in tight collaboration with the Italian Trade Agency, and today I'm going to provide you a very brief snapshot about the Italian logistics market and incentives. My name is Ambra Nicole Strub, and I'm a logistics and infrastructure specialist working at Invitalia. Invitalia is a national agency for inward investment and economic development. We work and operate on many diverse levels, and we are committed on also reviving crisis areas and operate in the south of Italy. Mostly importantly, we manage all national incentives that promote the creation of new companies and new startups, and also for the foreign investors willing to invest in the Italian market. So our goal is to create the right conditions for boosting the Italian economy, and myself and my group work and try to do so by attracting foreign investments in Italy, focusing on strategic sectors for the development, such as the logistics and infrastructure one. We support at an operational level potential foreign investors with our free of charge services and our financial incentives. Talking about very briefly our support services and aftercare services, this is a snapshot that we as Invitalia and together with the ITA do. I'm not going to mention and explain one by one, but the important key thing to keep in mind is that we have the institutional mission for helping companies settle in Italy, and we do that by offering them a set of free of charge services, and we help them throughout the entire process. So for example, if a German company needs help in finding an industrial plant, we help them with the location scouting. We mobilize our institutional and public partners, and once we are together on the territory and we have found the correct location for according to your needs, we make you talk with the recruitment agencies that will help you out in the hiring processes. So again, we help you out 360 degrees. And we do that even after your settlement, thanks to our aftercare services. Talking about services, our financial modeling is a very appreciated and utilized type of service. This slide, in fact, represents the 4 main lines of intervention and aid which are utilized in Italy for helping companies. So, for example, we can help a company by co-financing the investment, providing grants or loans or a combination of the two. And the most important instrument in this sense is our development contract. With hiring bonuses, with the decontribution of Social Security for their employees and therefore going to greatly reduce the operating costs, co-financing with tax credit and rewarding you for your R&D, and paying some of the employees some specific training courses. And all of these concessions can be cumulative. This slide instead is useful to understand the general approach we have in Italy about transport and logistics. In the last 20 years, all the Italian governments, even if with different tools, aimed at the same goal, which is to make more sustainable and as green as possible the transport system, shifting goods from the road network to the rail one and to the sea one, calculating a bonus of more or less €2.5 per tons kilometer. In order to have this bonus, you must plan your transport in Italy in the upcoming years, and you must talk with the RAM, which is a society of the Ministry of Transport, with which we can put you in contact with if you need. Talking about the Italian logistics and transport market in general, we can for sure say that it is characterized by a very strong presence of foreign companies, as you can see from this graph. These aspects arise from the fact that the manufacturing sector has always sold the goods ex work. This has led to all the major European players, but also worldwide players, to invade the Italian logistics and transport sector and to the creation of many logistics bases in Italy. So we can for sure state that historically, Italy has attracted a lot of investments in this sector. And talking more into depth about a segment of this sector, namely the Italian ports and the Italian container terminals, starting from the 90s, the Italian ports have been able to attract already numerous foreign investments, mainly thanks to the role of the Suez Canal and the opening of the Asian markets. This slide shows the picture we can find today, with investments coming from the world's most important shipping companies and terminalists, and also private funds. So for sure, it clearly shows that the Italian ports have been chosen by the international market. Last but not least, it is very important to mention the role the Italian freight villages have in the Italian market scenario. The Italian freight villages, in fact, probably represent the most successful policy adopted by the Italian government in this business. The idea of creating a certain number of big inland platforms in order to relaunch the Italian export and import still represents excellences, as we can see from this European ranking made by a German independent association. Of the first 15 European freight villages, 6 are Italian, and many of them have attracted already investments coming from important foreign logistics operators. This was all from my side. I now leave the floor to some of the most relevant Italian ports and freight villages. Here you have my contacts, and if you're interested in having further details about these aspects, don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you.
And thank you very much to Ms. Strub from Invitalia. That was very clear, and we very much appreciated the methods that can be used to invest in the country. Thank you. And now moving on to part 1 of this seminar. directly speaking to the Italian ports and investment projects that are possible. I myself am part of the Italian Port Association, which brings together the main Italian ports in the country, 57 ports within 16 port authority networks. Today we have 2 port authority networks present, which have within their competencies diverse ports, as you will see by their presentations. The first port network authority which will be speaking will be the Port Network Authority of the North Tyrrhenian Sea. Its technical manager, Mr. Enrico Pribats, will be talking about the port of Livorno, but not only that port, as there are other ports that are part of the system, but in specific, a project that is present in this port. Please, Mr. Pribats, take the floor.
My name is Enrico Pribats. I'm a technical manager for the Port Network Authority of the North Tyrrhenian Sea. On behalf of the President, Mr. Luciano Guerrieri, I will present you the Livorno Seaward Expansion Facility, named Darsen Europa, but first I will introduce you very briefly to the North Tyrrhenian port system. In 2016, the North Tyrrhenian Port Network Authority was set up, including ports of Livorno, Piombino, Portoferraio, Riomarina, Cavolo, and Capraia Island. The North Tyrrhenian Port Network is the natural logistic node for Tuscany and one of the largest of Italian port networks in terms of total traffic handled and directly connected by road and rail to the Scandinavian corridor. Coming to the new seaward expansion facility, as you can see on the map of the Livorno Master Plan, which has been approved in 2015, the expansion of the port area with the Darsen Europa project is one of the 6 main operational goals of the new port master plan, which main target is to increase goods and passenger traffic. Introducing the project, we would like to underline some key elements. First of all, the preliminary design began in 2019 and concerned the new port entrance with 2 new breakwaters, 3 kilometers of new piers, 2 large new terminals, 2 million square meters a yard, a draft up to -20 meters, and internal bathing suitable for large generation container ships. The amount of the investment is about 1 billion euros, and investors can participate for the 2 terminals through a project financing tender. The project is divided in 2 phases. The first one regards the new port entrance with 2 breakwaters, a large yard and longer, deeper quays for container traffic. The second phase has a large yard and longer and deeper piers dedicated to the motorway of the sea and other traffic. The first phase of the Darsen Europa itself is divided in 2 parts. The first one regards the breakwaters and dredging, during which a new harbor entrance and the internal basin will be constructed. The second one concerning the container terminal, which is the operation part of this phase. Here you can see more in detail the seaward defense work. The port of Livorno will be expanded on the northern side by building a new breakwater, reconfiguring and extending the Marzocco breakwater, and dismantling and reconfiguring the northern section of Meloria breakwater. Dredging operation concern the foundation of the new breakwaters, the deepening of seabed of the access channel, and the deepening of the seabed of the inner basin. The seabed sediment of about 50 millions of cubic meters will be employed partly for submerged beach replenishment and partly will be poured into the containment basin. And here some information regarding the new container terminal with a surface of about 600,000 square meters for a maximum capacity of 1.6 million TEUs and a design dredging depth of -20 meters. In the first phase, it will be -60. An electrified railway station built in 2016 is ready to accommodate trains with a maximum length. It's directly connected to the national railways. The second phase of the project is the motorway of the sea terminal, which will cover a total surface of 900,000 square meters and a draft of -10.5. And finally, the financing components of the first phase, for which we have already secured 250 million of Italian funds, 200 million euro of Tuscany Council funds, and 100 million euro from the North Tyrrhenian Port Network Authority, for a total of 550 million euros. which means that for breakwater and dredging, the public funds will cover 100% of the cost of the new infrastructure. And for container terminal, public funds will cover 150 million euro, and the investment for the private investor is estimated about 350 million euros. The private partner will be responsible for the development of terminal infrastructure and equipment. Many thanks for your attention.
And thank you to Mr. Pribats for that detailed presentation of the Port of Livorno, which is in the North Tyrrhenian area of the country. Now we will move south and precisely to the Ionian Sea area. And I am very pleased to introduce Noemi Frascella, who is part of the General and International Affairs Department of the Port Network Authority of the Ionian Sea, which comprises of the Port of Taranto. Indeed, she will be discussing the Taranto Eco Park towards a new concept of the district park. Please, Ms. Frascella, take the floor.
Thank you very much, Tiziana. Thank you and good afternoon. Thanks for this opportunity for being here today. I'm going to share my presentation. Yes. Yes, today we are going to present the Taranto Eco Park project, which is a new greenfield opportunity that our Port Network Authority, together with the friends of Invitalia, has decided to convert into a green area. As you can see, we put a green light on this area, and we decided to bet on sustainability as a key driver for this new greenfield opportunity, which is addressed to those companies, I would say energy and energy-driven companies, interested in investing in our port, in a natural expansion of the Port of Taranto. We are located in the south of Italy, in the so-called heel of the Italian Wood, and we bear a very strategic position in the heart of the Med. We are one of the main industrial port in the Med area. And as you can see, just let me give you two key elements of this project. We are discussing about a project covering an area of 75 hectares in the backport domain of the Port of Taranto, very close to the container terminal, which is now run and managed by the Turkish company Airport Holding, and very close to the logistics platform, but also close to the railway connections included in the port domain and connecting the port to the main hubs in northern Italy and so central northern Europe. Another key element is that this area is included in a special economic zone, in the interregional special economic zone connecting Puglia and Basilicata regions, and also in the customs-free zone already existing in the port, so giving the possibility to companies to take advantage of different kinds of incentives and tax benefits to find a settlement inside the port. So I said we decided to bet on sustainability, and the Port Authority has also identified sustainability as one of the 5 main objectives to be achieved in the next few years, as we also included this element into our 3-year operational plan. And so we decided to consider real estate and logistics as key drivers of this proposal, but also matching the concepts of the new economies based on circularity, green approach, and new sustainable mobility, as they could be key elements for the development of the business opportunity inside our port. So we decided to suggest 5 main pillars around this eco park: energy community, eco-industrial park, sustainable transport logistics, green mobility, and connectivity. They are principles that we are trying to develop around this greenfield opportunity. First of all, energy community. Energy community in the sense that we think and we aim to develop inside a port the first energy community in the local area, capable of generating social and environmental benefits to the territory by generating and supply, and also by promoting the consumption of energy produced by renewable sources to the benefits of those companies working inside the park and to the territory. And so by transforming this area into an eco-industrial park, that could be a point of attraction for sustainable investments, because it could be focused on circular and green economy in the field of waste management, for example, or manufacturing, and by promoting the use of railway and intermodality. That's the reason why I was discussing about energy-driven industries and companies. Also promoting the sustainable transport logistics, because logistics is a fil rouge of this proposal, by promoting the use of international best practice and certification for building activities, by also promoting the reverse logistics and pushing the use of railway for moving goods, for example. Green mobility. Green mobility is a way to link this project to the territory by converting this area, this green area, into a parking lot for e-vehicles, e-scooters, and by also creating a link with the urban planning activities, also for the benefits of tourism citizens living in the territory and passing through Taranto. And then connectivity, which is a cross-section element, by promoting the use of digitalization and different types of digitalized services. Who we are looking for? We're looking for energy developer, real estate, industrial and logistics developers, and manufacturers or distributors of electric vehicles. Thank you very much for your attention, and if you had any kind of needs, we are here to answer your needs. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Noemi Frascella. Very interesting. And here we finished the 2 projects of ports that are to be presented today. We remember that there are, we would like to recall that there are many other ports in the country, as I have said at the beginning. Now we move on to part 2, where we connect the port areas to the Italian freight villages in the countries and the investment projects that are available in the freight areas, beginning with the speaker, Mr. Alberto Milotti, who is part of the freight village of Verona, but he is also part of the Union of Freight Villages, and he will introduce how this union works as well. Please, Mr. Milotti, take the floor.
Thank you, Mrs. Murgia. Thank you, everybody, for this invitation. Interporto Quadrante Europa is the first slide I would like to share with you is one slide about the UIR, which is the Italian Association of Freight Villages, which I'm very glad to represent here, together with the Freight Village of Verona, and together with the other 3 associated freight villages, those of Trento, Rivalta, Scrivia, and Marcianise, who will follow me. Now I move to Verona Freight Village. We are located on the crossroads of 2 of the main corridors in Europe, the scammed corridors from north to south, where also Livorno and Taranto ports are, and the east-west axis in Europe, the Mediterranean corridor. Inside the city of Verona, Interporto Quadrante Europa is located on the western side of the city, at the crossroads of the 2 main motorways and rail line, and we are developing the last industrial area in Verona city, which is called Marangona, the triangle at the southwestern part of the city. Some numbers from Verona. We have a total area of 2.5 million square meters, filled by warehouses and rail terminals. 130 enterprises work inside the freight village, with 13,000 employees divided in direct and indirect employees. In 2020, we moved 28 million tons of goods, 20 of them by road and 8 of them by rail. From the main activity we have from the intermodal side, we have a lot of services connecting Italian areas, Italian ports, especially on the Tyrrhenian side, Genoa, Spezia, and Livorno, with Central and Northern Europe, with the ports, but also with Germany, Denmark, Netherlands, Sweden, and France. What we are going to develop our freight village. We have two main projects aimed at developing the freight village. The first one is the so-called area of Marangona. I already told you. It is a triangle on the left of this master plan, 1.5 million square meters development area. This is called innovation area in order to develop innovative companies and logistics and industrial companies. The second main project is the new terminal, new 750 meters intermodal terminal. So the first one, we are develop the area which has a high level of accessibility. We divided the big triangle, the 1.5 million square meters, in five areas called IU, and where we will develop innovative logistics, 3PL and 4PL e-commerce operators, but also many other projects we are now developing with the promoters. We have completed the administrative path. In fact, at the end of this month, at the end of May, we will be ready to start the operation of building in one of these areas that it is already sold to a logistic operator, a European logistic operator. The second main project we have is a new terminal, 750 meters long. Together with the Italian Railways, we will build a new terminal according to EU standards of freight train, which are 700 meters length and 2,000 tons weight moving. This new terminal will improve our capacity by 50%. So at the moment we have more than 62 trains per day. So we can arrive to more or less to 100 trains per day, connecting Italian areas, Italian ports with Northern Europe. I would like to thank you for the attention, and I will leave the floor again to Mrs. Murgia.
Thank you very much, Alberto Milotti. Very interesting presentation. And once again, we move from the north of the country, from the freight village in Verona, to a southern area freight village, the freight village in Marcianise, Interporto Sud Europa. And on this regard, I will leave the floor to Mr. Riccardo Maria Monti, who is the president of this freight village. Please, Mr. Monti.
Thank you for inviting. It's a pleasure also because I've been part of this effort as a former president of the Italian Trade Agency. I want to just give a sense of what's going on in the big picture very briefly. What is going on is that with the doubling of the Suez Canal, with the increased size of freight ships, and with the Silk Road project from the Chinese, the Mediterranean is gaining market share. So in the last couple of years, there's at least 3% of the global market share of the Mediterranean route vis-a-vis the Pacific route. And this is very good news for Italy and very good news also for south of Italy. As you've seen from my fellow speaker, there's been a lot of action in the last few years. The ports in Italy finally are getting together to advance the infrastructure part, to improve the connections. And this is a very good and interesting moment to be in Italy, in the south of Italy. Our freight village is very peculiar because it's the more extended in all of south of Italy. We are also part of the free zone, ZES, Zone Economica Speciale. So we have the possibility of having a very interesting set of tax breaks, and we're building a new trucker village. Our size is today 3 million square meters, and we have a 2 more million square meter expansion plan. We are really focusing on some of the industry that are very strong in the region of Campania in the south. So we're focusing a lot of textile and food industry. We are building a very ambitious plan of development. And we have also, with the 2 million square meter of greenfield, we attractive new operators and new tenants into our perimeter. Let me also add a couple of comments. We have 200,000 square meter of rail logistic nodes, and we have a number of our premises that are integrated. So the train arrives inside the premise, and we're substantially building the connection, the rail connection with all the southern Italy ports to hub goods, because basically we have a connection that is on the north to south axis, Milan to Napoli. We're on the highway Milan to Napoli, on the highway Napoli to Bari towards the east and the Adriatic Sea, and we are also on the Salerno-Caserta. So we have a number of ports that can reach our premises in a very short time frame. So the good news is the Italian logistic is back in action with the recovery fund, recovery plan. We are building a set of new advancement to make it digital. We are expanding substantially the concept of smart freight village, where all the goods can be monitored in a seamless way inside and outside. And we're also building light transformation area where we can import in with no VAT, because we are a free zone, we're zone economica speciale. We can do light transformation or re-export. So you can get goods from every port of south of Italy, bring it to our premises without paying VAT, transform it and re-export it without paying VAT. So it's a very interesting time for being in the logistic industry in Italy, and the mega trend of the Mediterranean being back at the center of the big freight movement is something that we as a country have to intercept. And also south of Italy, the tradition has been late to the party in terms of intercepting big players, big operators, and big percentage of the traffic is finally waking up and getting on the move. So I think it's an interesting time to be in this business, and I hope our international operators in this conference can have a serious look at the possibility of investing and becoming commercial partner of one of the many players we have in Italy, especially the new players in the south like ourselves, Interporto Sud Europa Marcianise.
Thank you very much, Mr. Monti, and thank you for having mentioned the economic special zones, which are very important for diverse areas in the south of Italy. Now we will move on to the next freight village, which is present, Catonnassi. It's the freight village of Rivalta Scriva, and to represent it is Silvia Bertolotti. The Rivalta Scriva is the freight hub as dry port of the Port of Genoa, and Silvia Bertolotti is the business development manager of Catonnassi. Please, Silvia, take the floor.
Thank you, Tiziana. Thank you, and welcome everybody. Good afternoon. I share my presentation right now and just introduce Catonnassi as a logistic provider. Catonnassi is a Belgian multinational company based in Belgium and invested in Italy, in Rivalta Scrivia, in the northwest of Italy, and also in Cremona. But we will I will introduce Rivalta on this session. The site, Rivalta Scrivia, is a big hub, a big logistic platform. The key figures are these ones. You can see the picture on the video on the screen is 1.5 million square meters of overall surface, and more than 400,000 covered warehouses. It's private, even if the name is Interporto Rivalta Scrivia, the company is totally private. We have a total turnover of around 50 million euros just for the site in Italy, in Rivalta, and we employ about 400 people directly. Our core business is to propose services of warehousing on our own premises, handling of goods, so all the basic operations within a warehouse, and also added value activities dedicated to special operations for our customers. In our site is a multi-customer site. We can guarantee a lot of flexibility in terms of areas, space, and in terms of resources, human resources. High quality services linked to our continuous improvement approach. We can give tailor-made logistic solutions also with highly automated operations. And as already said, we employ directly our people. We train them and we manage them directly, so we don't use cooperative, the Italian way normally used. And we also provide on-site engineering, quality, safety, IT, and technical department. This is the plan, the master plan of our site. You can see the total surface is 1.5 million square meters and 400,000 covered warehouses. The platform is totally fenced and totally monitored by more than 300 cameras around. But we can grow also. Possible mid-term expansion is in the green rectangular you can see of 41,000 square meters. But the overall expansion, possible expansion, is more than 130,000 square meters in the rectangulars you can see on the picture. We are located perfectly close to the Ligurian ports, the three main Ligurian ports, Savona, Sivona, Genova, and La Spezia. So Rivalta is well connected to all these ports with the rail connection. We have also connected warehouse in our site directly with the train, and also with the container hub close to us. We are on the cross of two main Italian highways, right between Milan and Genova, and midway between Torino and Piacenza. And also we are based within the so famous logistic quadrilateral of the northwest of Italy, with a lot of industrial companies, industrial facilities. And we have also our internal container terminal, internal of Cajanassi. You can see our key point, different from many other logistic providers, is that we don't use cooperative. We employ our people directly, and of course, using also temporary people, we arrive to employ daily up to 700 people in our site in Rivalta, without with no cooperative, as I said, so no strikes, no risks. So I thank you for the attention, and I will be glad to give you more information eventually. Bye. Ciao.
Thank you very much, Silvia. Very interesting presentation and somewhat diverse, as being in a different legal type of system. Thank you very much. Now we remain in the north of the country, but we move to another part of it. The next speaker is Angelica Hofer from the Interporto of Trento, which is the freight village of Trento Interbrennero. She will present this freight village and its transshipment areas. Please, Angelica, take the floor.
Thank you, Dr. Moja. I'll just share my presentation. Good afternoon, I'm Angelica Hofer, the Vice President of Interbrennero, and I would like to give you a short overview of our structure, the Interporto in Trento, which is located in the very, very north of Italy. The company itself is a corporation with private and public participation, and it conducts the Interporto in Trento. Further, Interbrennero itself controls also several companies and take interest of Interporto Servizi, the terminal ferroviario Valpolicella, Interporto di Padua, and also UIR. The Interporto of Trento is located at a distance of 250 meters from the principal national and regional road network, for example, the Brenner motorway A22 or the Brenner bus railway line, and we are also easily reached by public transport. It offers different services, starting from a hotel up to public Tesla supercharger stations. And we offer also different services for freight and vehicles, from warehousing up to rail freight services, including cargo handling and storage. 100 hectares is the total area of Interporto, with a directional center where we have offices and an auditorium. We have also a multi-brand garage and a service area. There are different warehouses, also temperature controlled for food logistics, warehouses for transport companies in different areas of the Interporto. And there is also a quite huge hub. We have warehouses for wholesales and a truck parking. The truck parking matches the requirements of the EU secure truck parking areas. And further, we have a customs area where a division of the Italian Finance Police is located. In this area take place all the customs related operations, for example, Infostat or so on. Last but not least, we can offer also a new petrol station, which offers also alternative fuels such as LNG for the moment. The terminal itself covers an area of 150,000 square meters, and it's illuminated as bright as day and surveyed 24/7. 7 out of 9 available platforms are electrified. And for the train loading are available 3 mobile cranes, 3 forklifts, and a tractor. We have a cargo handling terminal, which is an isolated dead end. Different sidings, where one of them will get a length of 750 meters in the near future to offer the different intermodal shift possibilities at the same time. We can offer accompanied rail transport, the roller from Trento to Virgil. We offer also traditional rail transport, for example, the vans of FHR Bertani, or cellulose or chemical pulp transports. We offer the service also of steel from the steel mills of Borgo Valsugana, calcium carbonate, or also logs. We offer the unaccompanied rail transport for different NTOs. Here, for example, for Krupak or all of them. And we are certificated from SGS Italia SPA in quality, environment, security, and fire protection. If you are interested in our services, please don't hesitate to contact us on info@interbrennero.it, and I will thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Ms. Horford, for concluding today's conference. And thank you to all the speakers who today have illustrated the vast potential of the Italian port and freight system. On behalf of the Italian Port Association, which brings together the port authorities that manage on behalf of the country, all the port areas, and on behalf of the Union of Italian Freight Villages, which brings together all the freight villages that are vastly through the country, we thank all those who have followed us today. And we are open for any questions that may be of your interest, and we open the floor to these. and we hope to see you soon, as the country has a lot of potential in further developments and attraction of new operators. Thank you very much. Open for questions now.